my Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for August and September 2021. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, now on Kindle, link in the description box, the Archangel of Lions, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Hi. I am doing two series simultaneously here on YouTube. I am doing the work, career, vocation reads, obviously, the one I'm doing right now for you, gems, as well as the full moon to new moon next. So I changed up the format a little bit and sort of enjoying it. Well, this is only day 2. Let's see how it goes, like doing 2 signs a day. All of that. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this reading we're doing here. This is a work, career, vocation read. 3 levels of power as defined by Carolyn Myss, MYSS. This is her archetype deck. We're going to be starting off with 3 of these in a 12-card spread altogether. There is a link in the description box from Caroline Myss, talking about at least part 1 of, I think, part 3, 3 different, well, connected YouTube videos on what the 3 levels of power are. They're archetypal lenses, essentially, that you could look at any aspect of life through, but in this case we are looking at life purpose, work, what you do to survive, your career, your internal hunger and thirst and passion, what lights you up, and your vocation, your spiritual calling. There are chakras involved. We'll see what flies out of my mouth. I already said the prayers. You're the first read of the day, so I'm fresh and refreshed. So oh yeah, if you want to book me for a private reading, it's easy enough to do. Just know I will never contact someone. It's never going to happen. So if anybody shows up appearing to be Angelo Lyons asking if you want a reading, it doesn't work that way. You have to come to the witch. It's just how it is, right? You got to go to the witch in the woods. They don't come to you. We don't do door to door that way. But I will make a house call if everybody is shot in the arm that's involved. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I did a video on that, booking a reading with Mal. It's not all about how to book a reading with me, but it is about what goes down before, during, and after. So check it out. Other than that, all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box. This is a general read. Check your other signs, because one might be more about work, another career, another vocation. There's always seems to be a tipping point or a leverage point in one of the 3 levels of power here to help you heal the other 2 and ultimately bring your work, career, and vocation into alignment as essentially one thing. You'll see what I mean, I hope. Otherwise, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can with these 12 cards about to hit the table. Please take a nice deep breath, my gems. And away we go as I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please give me 3 cards representing the 8th chakra archetype for the Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, and vocation. Please describe it as we go. So let's start with their work. What's going on in the 8th chakra, the soul center, the star center, whatever you want to call it. They're the home of the archetypes. What is the archetypal lesson they're dealing with in their work, using their survival intuition, which is really about the lower 3 chakras. Work is first level of power, the physical world, physical power, lower 3 chakras, but that's the lesson that's going on there. How about their career, their personal level of power, their creative intuition? What's the archetypal dealio going on there? And in their vocation, their spiritual calling, which really is typified by the 8th chakra itself, what's the alchemy, the lesson, the dealio going on there? Good. Now, these are already written in the title, so you know what they are before I even do, in a weird kind of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly way. Well, we're starting off with one of my favorite. We got the hedonist in your work, the gossip in your career. Now, gossip was another, the other series that I did. I have to write them down, because if I see, like, blatant similarities, I like to call them out. And the warrior in your vocation. So, I mean, right there, Spiritual Warrior. You might want to check out The Way of the Spiritual Warrior by Dan Millman and his other books. God, I read that back in the 80s, I think. 80s, early 90s. Worthwhile read for sure. Now, these, like I said, are the 8th chakra dynamics. You can have an archetype in your energy field, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Do check out Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. It is a life-changing book, particularly about life purpose, by the way. The contracts you are under in this lifetime in particular. And there are 9 different families, and you can have them. This might be your archetype, somebody else's archetype, a situation, all of that, some of that, and usually it's all at the same time. But you've got one of my favorites here in the physical world, the hedonist, your physical level of power, your work. It is the wild card family. There are 9 different families. That wild card, wouldn't the hedonist be right there? So the shadow and the light. Let's see what the shadow is that you're dealing with here. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of others, of health. Who, me? Never. It was the 80s. Indulges at the expense of others, right? So pursues pleasure to the detriment of health. I've certainly done that. Look at me. And indulges at the expense of others. Not good. Now, particularly in the physical world, boy, can that play itself out in a billion different ways. The light attribute, the healing thing that's going on here, or what you're shooting for, inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life. I got that. Celebrates the beauty in yourself, and how could I not? I mean, I joke about that, but, you know, the truth of who we are is divine, which is all of beauty at once. There is something else I'm kind of getting on this, though. Oh, yeah. The ultimate witch's trick is lemons into lemonade, essentially alchemy. You take what you have and you make something beautiful out of it, and not necessarily just as an artist, a situation. So there's an opportunity here for you to maybe take, well, we hear it all the time. Everything that you need is always in the present moment, and the power is within you. Great. Stitch it on a pillow. Except somebody already has, I'm sure. Throw it on the couch, Grandma. But for you to maybe kind of see this differently and start to see the beauty of how everything is perfect. Not that we have to like it, but we can at least go, you know what, there is something beautiful here. Like my physical work in the world, or dealing with someone who's a hedonist, is really teaching me something that I can walk away with this light attribute, inspiring creative energy to celebrate the good things in life, right? And the beauty within yourself. It's a beautiful thing. In your career, heart, throat, third eye, crown dynamic, right? What's going on inside of you here? The gossip. Now, this is all about confidences and trust. So the shadow attribute thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. Now, Gemini, your 3rd house dynamic, which is about communication and self-expression. So sometimes you say things and not necessarily have the foundation of this is a confidential conversation. See, I'm under vows of confidentiality, blood vows. These cords symbolically represent that. But that's, I took that vow in exchange for the ability to read people for filth, right? To speak only truth and therefore see only truth, but truth without compassion is brutality. But every reading, every spiritual counseling, every conversation that I have, it's already given for readings and spiritual counseling. I'm under vows of confidentiality. You can say whatever you want unless they agree to that vow as well. Otherwise, under confidentiality, it's confession. But if that's broken, it's gossip. And here's the light attribute. Awakens consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. Honoring trust. Are you keeping things, keep it secret, keep it safe. Thanks, Gandalf. Are you keeping things secret and sacred and safe that are meant to be done so? Or maybe there is somebody in your energy field who is betraying that confidence, but that, you see, that's why I stopped gossiping. That's why I took the vow. Because people were talking shit about me that just wasn't true. That was never true. It's all their own projection of their own guilt and their mother. It's weird. People project their mother issues onto me, which took me decades to figure out. I was like, oh, this isn't about me at all. You're angry at your mom. Mama. Mama Mal. Let's not go there right now. So I get that gossipy thing, and so I let it go. I cut a lot of people out of my life as a result of that, and boy, was that it really did affect my career, as just cleared out all the psychic free radicals in the air. Really, it's a good idea to cut the gossips out of your life, but you got to cut it out of your own too. The warrior in the 8th chakra, I have to say, is so fucking powerful. Oh, by the way, this is creative family archetype. This is the an action family, right? So you've got wild card, creative, and action. So there is definitely some dynamic action you are taking or being prepared to take in terms of your spiritual calling. But the shadow attribute, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. I'm not allowed to do that. Indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. I'm an empath. I can't bear to do that, right? So I don't really have... The warrior may come and go for a reason in my life. It's just not endemic to who I am. I'm a lover, not a fighter. The light attribute, though, strength. Put this in a spiritual context. Strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, which means the ability to make the hard choices. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. This is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. This is really saying, all right, I'm a soul. I am not a body. I am free. I'm still as the divine created me. There is a function it would have me fill. I'm kind of full up on Course in Miracles this morning. It is a Sunday when I'm doing this. So the spiritual warrior, right, that you're developing strength and skill and courage and to be a hero rather than a villain, but let's say spiritual villains are a dime a dozen, right? Because the ego learns spiritual language and then turns it against us. So to make those heart-centered choices, those loving, divinely inspired choices, is definitely a warrior's thing. And at the same time, you know, self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. Now, what are you sacrificing there? Toxic choices, right? Doesn't seem like much of a sacrifice when you look at it, right? Maybe caring what other people think, maybe caring about what other people say, right? To just say, well, none of that matters. Remember the ego, this is from Matt Kahn, his mantra deck is the last 3 down in this spread. The ego is always at war. It worries, anticipates, and regrets. The soul is always raw. It respects, acknowledges, and welcomes. So, people are going to talk. I've given them something to talk about. That's kind of been my motto. Thank you, Bonnie Raitt. All right. Oh, I love her. Oh, I need to Google some Bonnie Raitt. There's some really, the fundamental thing, that whole album is amazing. I don't know why that popped into my head, but here we go. Daughters of the Moon Tarot. We're going to look at the next 4 chakras down. What's going on in the world behind your eyes, all right? Your emotional power, your willpower, choice power, mental power, and spiritual power, because really 8th chakra is mystical power for your work, career, and vocation. Both feet on the floor, Mark. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of air and the sign of Gemini, please, 3 cards in clarity for the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in terms of their work, career, vocation, their life purpose through the 3 levels of power. They've got the hedonist in their work. That's the one. What's going on there? The gossip in their career, which, you know, the healthy gossip is good buzz. The healthy gossip is a counselor who can draw the truth out of you that you otherwise wouldn't say, but because it's in those safe boundaries there. Nah, I'm not taking flippers today. If you want that one out, send it around, just because of what the card was. Really, please. Heart, third eye crown. There we go. Let me get back in there. They're being a little flippy for you today. It's not even humid where I am here in lovely Holbrook, Long Island, the mountainous region of Long Island. With the warrior in their vocation, please. What do you got there for the gems, heart, third eye crown? Let's see who you've got. It was the card that popped out, but it's in a better placement. Okay. All minor arcana here. I wouldn't freak too much about this, but a lot of thinking, which would make sense. A lot of air cards. Makes sense for a Gemini. So the Hedonist, here you've got the Three of Blades, the Three of Swords. The key word written on it is focus. Now I know the traditional version of the Rider-Waite version, people say it's heartbreak, which always seems to me more like Five of Cups, or Four of Cups, Five of Cups, depending on the artist, than literal heartbreak, because in the Rider-Waite, it's not literally broken, it's focused, right? So it's almost like introspection, right? Making some kind of focus within yourself, but certainly with the Hedonist in the physical world, you might very well be experiencing heartbreak as the result of the shadow side of the Hedonist. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. That can be absolutely heartbreaking, whether it was done to you or you've done it to others, and I think we've played both sides of that, depending on your age. I'm Generation X, I've played both sides of that. What's lovely here, this might be your leverage, although we'll see. You got the gossip in your career, but it's with the Ace of Flames, the Ace of Wands. There is a new inspiration cooking inside of you, right? Or at least the seed of it, right? Power is within you, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm getting here is there is a new inspiration. There's a new desire, which may come about, through more of a confidential piece of information, shared with you that kind of lights you up, that excites you. I mean, this can absolutely make sense when someone gives you a little insider tip on something, right? It's like, but don't tell anybody, but act on it, but don't tell anybody, right? That if you can honor that, and if it is honorable, obviously, then certainly there is something really wonderful. That's at least a beginning in terms of your career. Now, how many artists' career, just using this as an example, wait tables, or maybe not so much right now, but you know what I mean, like work some job, DoorDash, whatever, in order to do their career, right, their art, following their spiritual vocation, right? So it might be that there's something you really need to think about, get to the heart of the matter of what it is that you're doing for your work in the world, right? Not everybody gets paid through their work. I don't. My work is as a corporate president. It's a lot of work that I don't get directly paid for. Mine comes through my career, teacher, healer, artist, kind of dealio like that. And with the warrior in your 8th chakra, your vocation, you've got the 10 of Blades, which I know, like the Rider-Waite, blessed be Pamela Coleman Smith, who painted the deck. This is very different. I love Daughters of the Moon for this. It is the rattle. It's the passing of the talking stick. And if you know, the talking stick was made fun of a lot in the 90s, and I didn't appreciate that so much. But it's essentially passing around this rattle in a tribal situation. Everyone who needs to be there is there, and the only one who can talk is the one who holds the rattle, and it makes its way all the way around, and everybody has to pay attention and listen to the one who's holding it, so everybody gets their piece said, because it puts all the pieces of the puzzle on the table, mental resolution. And I feel like this is going on inside of you, but you really need to get up into that 8th chakra. You really have to look at, what is my spiritual calling? Because a lot of people don't know. Sometimes it's revealed to you, and even if you take a shot at it and you're off a couple of degrees, who cares? The gods know, the angels know, right? The divine knows. So there is some sort of realization here, but that full circle of the 10, right? Something where you come to right here, you're at this 3 going into focus. Well, if that focus takes you deeper in and higher up and lit up by that Ace of Flames, Ace of Wands, then your answers are up here, right? I mean, yes, you'll experience them, heart, throat, third eye, crown, most likely third eye, but all the pieces of the puzzle will be laid on the table and click into place. Good. All right. So this could also be your leverage, right? Particularly as an air sign, that would make sense, right? That you would, but it takes being a spiritual warrior and say, okay, well, what's the mission, right? Isn't that a way? But what's the mission? Well, it's the divine mission. Well, what's that? You don't really know, but here's this phase of it shown to you, right? Neat. Mythic Tarot, root, sacrum, solar plexus dynamic. This is the physical world. Either you from the outside looking in at yourself, or you from the inside looking out at some aspect of the physical world, or affecting the root, sacrum, solar plexus. Money is second chakra dynamic, right? The sacrum. But it can be all of that too. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be both and. Breathe. Okay. As I call upon my gods of air and the sign of Gemini, tricksters you, please, 3 cards in clarity for the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun, watching this video, receiving this reading. What is it? What's going on in the physical aspect of this, right? From the outside looking in, from the inside looking out, all of that, some of that. For the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, they've got the Hedonist with focus, 3 of blades on the inner. What's going on the outer there? I can wait. There we go. They've got the gossip in their career with the Ace of Flames. Definitely something inspiring. That's what's going on the outer. And in their vocation, they've got the warrior with the 10 of blades. And I'm kind of feeling more in the belly that this is where the leverage is here, that there's a spiritual solution to whatever is going on with that 3 of blades on the inner. We're about to see what goes on the outer, maybe explaining that a little bit. But for their vocation, what's going on? Let's see. Uno. More swords. Oh, okay. 1 minor arcana sword card, 2 major arcana. So you got 2 major arcanas and 1, 2, 3 air. So the Hedonist with the 3 of blades on the inner, you got the 4 of swords on the outer. Contemplation, meditation, stillness, healing, rest. I kind of get the feeling that you're supposed to kind of kick back and go within and enjoy yourself. Okay, all right, here's what they just show me. Enjoy yourself, because this can be very, very joyful. We'll get there in a minute. But joy apparently is our natural state underneath all the conditioning. Apparently, right? Underneath all the biochemical stresses in our body. That it's very Eckhart Tolle, it's very Zen, like, well, the East would say it different than Eckhart does, but I like Eckhart Tolle, I love him, actually, that joy is our natural state, and it's accessible in the now, but it's like, yeah, but have you seen my to-do list, right? Have you seen what I'm dealing with? No, but you need to go in, you need to pierce through that, right? And with that card of focus, a maiden, a mother, and a crone, in the desert, with the Sphinx, and a pyramid, right? Go into the mystery of it, and with that Hedonist, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I think this is about really connecting with the joy and the truth of who you really are, but we've still got other cards to go. We'll come back to that. In your career, gossip with the Ace of Flames. You ready? Your first major arcana card is the Death card, Hades, Lord of the Underworld. Your career is transforming. I would say you most likely have already gone through the death of it. But there is no death without rebirth, no crucifixion without resurrection, no winter without spring. It's just the cycle of dualistic cycles here. Sorry, that was redundant. It's just the nature of dualistic cycles here in the 3rd and 4th dimension, which really, we're not from here, we're from higher. So I think that's really what that Ace of Flames is, which, by the way, the key word on this is creation. So destruction and creation, erosion and renewal, waning moon, dark new moon, full waning moon, round and around you go. So I would really make people like blood swear to confidentiality in your conversations, right? To honor your trust. Like, I'm trusting you. This is my idea. Or maybe someone shares that with you, but you have to be honorable about it. There's no question. You have to be honorable about it. You don't want to screw around with Lord Hades. I love him. He's lovely. He never killed nobody. That ain't his job. Humans do that, right? Nature does that. He's the one he's the ender of pain, and whether you go to, the Elysian Fields or the Asphodel Fields or Tartarus, it's sort of up to you how you go, or maybe the Isle of the Blessed. The Isle of the Blessed is when you've been to the Elysian Fields a whole bunch of times and you don't have to reincarnate anymore. Chill. I want that one. Right? That's where I am, a spiritual warrior. It's like, get me to the Isle of the Blessed. in your vocation. This is so kick-ass. This is where your leverage is, no question. The warrior with that 10 of blades got the Emperor Zeus. Come on. Come on. This is literally the lightning bolt is in your hand. Now, what does lightning do when it strikes? Changes everything. You can't be unstruck by lightning, right? It's something that happens fast, sort of like the Tower card. But this is about being in control. With that warrior energy, you're really going to have to conquer your ego in this. And remember, the ego learns spiritual language, and it's not the enemy. It's the most dormant part of our soul, if you want to go there. It's all one. So what's the ego? The ego is the part that believes itself to be separate from unity. That's why we're seeing all that we're seeing on planet Earth and really have been since Jump. But there's a huge evolution here. This is about you really amalgamating the air, the fire, the water, and the earth of the kings in the tarot into a spirit king. And I feel like this is you from the outside looking in, unless you're dealing with somebody who is a spiritual teacher, spiritual leader, someone who holds that emperor position. But I'm not getting that. Not with this death card here, that transformation there, and with the Four of Swords in your work. It's like if you line this up, it very, very much looks like you're going through. I would really check out Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman, M-I-L-L-M-I-N. Maybe it's M-I-L-M-A-N. Forgive me for not remembering how to spell everybody's names when I am horrible with names to begin with. Authors I'm pretty good at, though, if I read the book. Last 3 cards down, Healing Mantra Deck. We're not reading from the bookie book. If you're new to my channel, there's a booklet that comes with this. I call all of them bookie books for some reason. It's a very timey-wimey bookie book. But I know these pretty much because I've worked all of them personally, and my clients really seem to benefit from them. Now, I'm going to tell you before these hit the table, if you rewind this, whatever, write down not just the names of the mantras, because there's the name on one side, the mantra on the other. Write down the mantras and put them together in a paragraph. I'll show you what I mean. Please take a nice deep breath. Last 3 cards down, my beloved Ascended Masters of Work, Career, and Vocation. Please, I need 3 cards. The perfect healing mantra for the Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What do you got for them? The perfect healing mantras for their work. They've got the Hedonist, focus on the inner, 4 of Swords on the outer, not looking at them. In their career, they've got the Gossip, Ace of Flames on the inner, Death and Transformation on the outer. Probably having gone to Ashes and rising from. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, I looked. Oh. Okay, I looked. Those, please, their leverage here in their vocation, warrior. In their vocation, 10 of Blades on the inner, Emperor on the outer. Oh my God, you've got such an intense set of mantras. I'm just going to say before I read what these are, take what resonates, sleep what doesn't, but everybody's going through this in some way, shape, or form. It's just you're going through it in your work, career, vocation. Now, really, there are no negative cards in Matt Kahn's deck or in his work, really. But there is a challenge here. I get why you're going to have to be a spiritual warrior here. You ready? Here we go. Breathe. Don't thumbs down. Well, you can't. You do you. The Hedonist, right? Focus on the inner, 4 of Swords. On the outer, befriending pain. When discomfort becomes a friend, my most limiting beliefs are healed. And underline the word beliefs. Beliefs. Befriending pain. Pain is a sign of fast transformation, right? Almost like element of fire. When it burns, I got lower back stuff. I know. It took me a while to work this mantra, but definitely this is about the physical body and the physical world. Even if the pain that you've endured, so then we really are looking at the 3 of Swords, traditional in a way, in your inner here, that there is some pain, and I'm going to say, taking the time to heal and rest, but this is a brilliant mantra to focus on. I mean, if you can get the deck, get the deck. All the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box with links, right? You can get it right from his website, mattkahn.org. It's on Amazon too, it's everywhere. But befriending pain, that when pain stops being the enemy, you can be more compassionate and loving with yourself than anyone else ever could. Because there's a certain amount of love and compassion that, let's say a specific vibration of it, that only we can give ourselves. No one else can, even if they're pouring love and compassion at you horizontally. There's something about doing that for yourself. There is transformation. And if any of you own this deck, go read that, because it really is saying you're going through transformation. And what's going on here with that death card right in the center of the entire reading, right? Here you've got the gossip, Ace of Flames on the inner, death on the outer. Overcoming fear, I will transcend every loss. This is about you really getting there is no death without rebirth. There is no winter without spring. I mean, unless you live on the equator on the North Pole, you know what I'm talking about, symbolically, metaphorically speaking, that, you know, your shadow, mostly when people hear about shadow work, I'm doing the shadow reads, like I said, concurrent with this series. So to really honor your trust, particularly with the next mantra that comes, you're going to really want to make sure that even if you do lose friends, even if you do cut people out, even if you do end the gossip, you will transcend every loss. I mean, look back over your life. I have let go of so many people in my life, particularly in the past 5 to 10 years. I mean, some through death, some through divorce, some through distance. Not literal divorce. I've never been legally married, and I don't think I'm going there in this life, although whatever the gods have planned, who knows, whatever's written. But you will overcome that, right? I will transcend every loss. And look at the word transcend, right? Transcend, because there is this new excitement, this new creation inside of you, which then if you can get, well, you know, and even this, okay, I'm afraid, what if I bust a move in my career? Well, eventually that's going to change too. It's not going to stay in the same form for everything, hence change, formation, action, the action of forms changing. It's constant. It's constant. You do mourn every skin cell that leaves. You won't be doing much else. Talk about contemplating your navel, contemplating your pores. Here is your leverage. The warrior in the 8th for your vocation. 10 of Blades, the Emperor, sharing shame. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. Now I'm going to tell you something. The Emperor doesn't necessarily do that. Okay, unless this is a teacher, a counselor, somebody, divine masculine energy, doesn't mean they're a guy, doesn't mean they're a male, but certainly someone at the top of the organization, not the executive vice president of, well, naval inspection, whatever, naval contemplation. This might very well be in prayer. This might very well be you saying, all right, enough's enough. I am going to toughness of will, right? I'm not gonna be too proud about this. I am going to go before the divine and say, all right, my deepest pain. I'm gonna God, goddess, all that is, Zeus, Buddha, Jesus, Zan, Jaina, Shaggy, Scooby, whoever you pray to, you go to, higher power, source, right? I'm in pain because of this, right? I'm going to share my shame, because the difference between guilt and shame, guilt is I've done wrong, shame is I am wrong, and there's nothing wrong with you. Your soul is immortal. Of Course in Miracles says, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Then the divine created us guiltless, birthless, sinless, deathless, eternal divine beings. Done. Right? But we came into this experience to experience time, right? To not have that instant manifestation of the higher realms, which is why we get impatient, because we remember that on some level. And the possibility here for you to really, even if you are dealing with a spiritual teacher, that your power, your physical power in the world it's sort of like saying spiritual mastery, if you want to call it vibrational mastery here, but not without heroism and stoicism and toughness of will, toughness of choice. So you put these 3 mantras together, just the titles: befriending pain, overcoming fear, and sharing shame. Sort of rhymes. When discomfort becomes a friend, my most limiting beliefs are healed. I will transcend every loss, and when I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be as I am, in process. A soul playing a role through one of the more transformative times on planet Earth, right? Definitely, not one of those agricultural lives, right? Where it's just you and the tribe and, hunter-gatherer. I mean, I'm sure that had its ups and downs, like everything does. But yet never before on this planet have we seen the illusion of separation being so busted open, wide lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions being transformed, being exposed, right? And that's why I'm going to say also keep an eye on the gossip in your life. The less you do it, and the less you agree to it, although if someone gives you a hot tip, keep it secret, keep it safe. Let me give you the final blessing here. Well, from me, not the final blessing you'll ever get again. Breathe. As I call upon my collective pantheons of the divine, please may the Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video receiving this reading receive all that they need, be blessed in their work, career, and vocation, that they can inspire creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrate the beauty within themselves, awakening consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. With strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, keeping your mouth shut on stuff, right? And self-sacrificing, conquering the ego so that this pain, this Three of Blades focus within them may be healed with that Four of Swords by going in and befriending that pain, because when discomfort becomes their friend, their most limiting beliefs are healed, releasing it from the cell tissue, even to that extent. While in their career, this hot flame, inspiration, creation hits them, while everything else around them is still in the process of transformation, that they can overcome fear, because they will transcend every loss. And in their vocation, with that warrior skill that they are developing, that strength, that toughness, that stoicism, all the pieces of the puzzle come together in their third eye as an emperor, maybe dealing with an emperor, but as an emperor as well, sharing shame perhaps only with the divine or in sacred context and confidentiality, because when they share their deepest pain, they give themselves permission to be. And since so many people on planet Earth seem to be in something so similar, that they can find the beauty in themselves and embrace the good things in life, that they can honor, trust, and that they can be the hero here. May, as they heal, may we all heal. May all of life heal. May all societies heal. May all have all that they need to live, grow, heal, and prosper with opportunities in their work, career, and vocation to fulfill their life purpose for the well-being of all. So motivating. And so it is. A rough read, I'll give you that. But, like I said, everybody's going through this in some way, shape, or form. So if you would like to book me for a reading or spiritual counseling, deets in the description box below. I would recommend checking out my book, Words of Grace, because I actually wrote that book as a result of my career falling apart. I mean, it was total transformation, but hey, take a look at me now. Oh no, don't Phil Collins me right now, right? You survive it, right? And I'm still here. There's no reason why I should still be alive. I'm sure a lot of my quantum variants have been dead. Like, I probably started with 1,000 and I probably have like 20 left, right? But I'm one of them, the purple-haired gay witch version, and I'm down for it. So if you liked it, like it, want more, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And by all means, if you need some help, I've been through this, and gossip. Yeah, not great. So good luck to you. Hell, stay outrageous, stay truly outrageous, stay truly, truly, truly outrageous, my beloved gems. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.